Good morning, Cityside. How you feeling? So am I. The air has cooled off a little bit. We can all take a nice breath. Sing along if you want to. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. That's right, keep singing. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Paul Mertens, talk to me. Yeah. Yeah, sing. God is my source. What? God is my power. What? God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. So I give thanks for all my blessings. For all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need this morning, this week, this month, this season, this year. I would love you to stand if you're willing. I want you to take a deep breath, ground your body, ground yourself into your body. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Let's sing it one more time. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. Oh, I am so blessed. Hey, I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Oh, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. Sing that with me. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. One more time, keep singing. I am so blessed.
City side. I'm Reverend Amy Daniels. I'm the spiritual director here, and I really want to welcome you, especially if you're here for the first time. We want to say good morning and welcome to our live streamers as well. At Cityside, we're about practical spirituality you can use to create the life you want based on your own definition of what that is. We embrace new thought and wisdom's paths. We are a philosophy rather than a religion, and we are part of Centers for Spiritual Living. But what we really want to do is create a supportive community for everyone to be part of. I'd like to invite everyone now to join us in speaking out loud our vision and mission, which is on your handout on the back side. We envision an empowered community that is living in a world of unconditional love in action. Our mission is to create safe spaces to explore and deepen our faith, grow in spiritual relationship, and connect with our authentic nature. Love that vision. So we are a social media friendly community, so if you see someone on their phone, don't think they're rude. We actually really want to invite everyone to get onto Facebook and to share about Cityside and to share the live stream. You can also check in and let people know that you're here to help us get the word out. And we're very excited to have Reverend Louise with us this morning. I've known her for many years. I was trying to think of how many, and I'm like, does it even matter? Oh, 4. That's impressive. She remembers we met at Revelations Conference in 2004. That's pretty impressive. But I know today's talk is going to be fantastic because Louise is going to be sharing from her own experience and about connecting with the infinite and also using the inspiration of someone that she had the opportunity to personally study with. So that's pretty cool. So I want to invite everybody to stand up and meet someone you don't know. Our icebreaker this morning is, what are you doing to stay cool?
I know you. I'm Ted. I'm Brenda. Brenda? So what do you do to stay cool? Oh, I like to drink a cold beer on a very hot day. I like the cold beer. I drink beer because I like beer, though. Yeah. One beer. I actually don't find. This is a weird statement. I don't mind this hot weather. It's a change in my life. I'm a Yankee, born and true a Yankee. For some reason, as I get older, the heat doesn't bother me. Well, we're all different, right? I know. I will. You have your beer. Yeah. And I drink a beer on any day, cold or warm. Oh. I love to drink. But these days, you drink one beer. For the most part, I rarely go over a single beer. Me too. Very rare. It makes me tired if I have too many. Right. And I split a stout last night with my boyfriend. I go, you want to split one because it was late and it's so rich. It is. It's like eating a bowl of porridge. Yeah, it's so it's way better than that. Well, in terms of enjoyment, yeah, it's way better. But I drink iced coffee too instead of hot coffee. I can go with ice, but if I eat
Hold on. All right, if everybody would take their seats. Good morning, Cityside. I'm Krista Bremberg, one of the spiritual practitioners here at Cityside. I'm seeing all kinds of faces that I remember. Hello, everybody. All right, welcome, welcome. I have a reading, and we'll do a brief meditation, and I'll pray us in this morning. The reading is from the Science of Mind text, Ernest Holmes, on page 513, and it's called The Circle is Complete. The circle of love is complete. It comprehends all, includes all, and binds all together with cords of everlasting unity. I cannot depart from its presence, nor wander from its care. My love is complete within me. The love of God binds me to itself and will not let me go. I shall make a home for you, O my wonderful love, and we shall journey through life hand in hand. I shall sit in your presence and learn the wondrous things you will tell me, for you are God. Love sits within me. So if you would just close your outer eyes, make yourself comfortable, connect with your breath, and allow those words to just be in your presence. So how wonderful it is to stand in the allness of God,
knowing that the love, the generosity, the peace, the joy, the perfection is right here and right now in its fullness. I know that this is the truth of my very life, and that is the truth also for each of us, that we are one with this divine energy. The light and the love flows through us, beats our hearts, and breathes us. It is from this place of knowing and oneness that I speak a word of blessing today on this service, calling it whole, perfect, and complete, even as we begin. Knowing that this divinity infuses everything that is unfolding today. I bless all the volunteers who were here early to create this sanctuary, this beautiful space for God to reveal itself to us. I bless our music ministry, knowing that they are inspired and inspire each of us, lift us up, fill our hearts, fill our minds with the beauty of God. And I bless Reverend Louise, knowing that she is a divine conduit for the message today, knowing that she is one with this beautiful message of light and love and unity. All is well, and so it is.
For the feature song today, and knowing that Louise would be speaking, I felt like I had to give a little country. Yeah, yes. Because it's fun for me to put a little bit of that accent on. And this is a song by a really fabulous group called Sugarland. Very powerful country band. And what I love is the song is entitled Love. I feel like that's what Louise embodies. So for me, this song's a bit more of a personal dedication from knowing her. But I want you to listen to the lyrics. They're really powerful. They're just short statements about what love could mean to you or to somebody else. Is it the face of a child? Is it the thrill of danger? Is it the kindness you see in the eyes of a stranger? Is it more than faith? And is it more than hope? Is it waiting for us at the end of a road? I say it's love. I say it's Is it the one you call home? Is it the Holy Land? Is it standing right here holding your hand? Is it just like the movies? Oh, is it white and white lace? Is it the feeling I get when I look at your face? I said it's a love. I said it's a love. say it's love. Paul Mertens. Mr. Paul Mertens. I say,
is it a veil or a cross? Is it the poet's gift? Is it the face that has launched over thousands of ships?
Come on, Greg. I say,
Is it making you laugh? Is it letting you cry? Is it where we believe that we go when we die? Is it how you were made? Is it your mother's ghost? Is it the wish that you wishing for your life the most?
Greg Woods on those vocals and piano, Mr. Paul Mertens.
That was so beautiful. How lucky are we? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Paul, for being here with us today. It's beautiful. So I get to introduce Louise now. As I said, I've known her for many years. What's always stood out to me about Louise is she really practices and teaches the science of mind in a way that not everybody does anymore. So I really appreciate about Louise. She's been a minister since 1990. She's been the interim minister at 2 New Thought churches, and she continues to be an avid student of Ernest Holmes. She is a certified hypnotherapist. She is trained in like 5 energy healing modalities, so she's been busy. And she also has co-authored, I didn't know this about you, 5 positive thought books for children. Didn't know that about you, so congratulations. And she's also the proud grandmother of a beautiful, brilliant little girl. So with that, I'd like to welcome Reverend Louise.
Whoa! I feel so taken care of. Does that work? Okay, good. Once again, I want to honor our musicians. They are not performers, they are the music. And it is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith of the Agape Center for Truth in Los Angeles says that music is 50% of the Sunday service. I tend to agree, because we can speak words, we can hear things, we can process in our minds, but music can touch a part of our souls that the spoken word cannot reach. And so my soul has already been touched today, as I know yours has been. When Reverend Amy sent out our topics for the month, she said it would be on freedom of thought, and she asks us to pick a new thought leader that we would like to use to base our information on. And I thought, well, I'm going to have a wrestling match with Reverend Darrell, because we're both going to want to do Ernest Holmes. But no, he went ahead and picked Joel Goldsmith. So I was happy about that, and I thought, okay, I could have my day with Ernie. But there again, something kept niggling at my brain. Something kept saying, talk about Kennedy Schultz. Talk about your own teacher. Talk about your mentor. Talk about the man that you spent 15 years with every Sunday and learned from. And so, back from the grave, I guess, because I know he speaks to me, I'm going to talk to you about Dr. Kennedy Schultz and base a lot of my comments on the book that he wrote called You Are the Power, A Guide to Personal Greatness. Now, what is so cool about Dr. Schultz is that he started a church called Religious Science in Atlanta, the heart of the Bible Belt. And sometimes he would refer to it as the buckle of the Bible Belt. I mean, we were entrenched in Southern Baptists. I was one for 22 years of my life. We were surrounded by Presbyterians and Catholics and all kinds of Bible thumpers. And here in the city of Atlanta, a man had the courage to start a New Thought church. People were so anxious to hear the truth, they came, and the church got bigger and bigger and bigger. And this man was trained very well, because his teacher was Raymond Charles Barker in New York City. Wow. So this is a lineage we're talking about here. And he tells a funny story. He said, I was agnostic. I didn't give a rip about religion. I didn't want anybody telling me how to live my life. And one Sunday, I was refinishing furniture in my apartment, and I was on one end of the apartment and had all the furniture and the papers and glue and everything I needed for this project. And on the other end of the apartment, I was listening to classical music. And then this booming voice came across the radio, and it said, "You are about to listen to Reverend Raymond Charles Barker." And he said, "Oh, no, I'm not." Well, he gets up, and he's trying to make way to the radio station to turn it off. He couldn't get there. There was so much clutter, so many wet pieces of furniture, so much debris in his way that he just calmly did his work and listened to the Reverend Raymond Charles Barker. Well, it touched his heart. It opened his mind to a total new way of looking and living life. And so he began to attend the New York Center, the Church of Religious Science. And it was a big place, and it was fancy. And he got to study classes with Raymond Charles Barker. He got to attend classes with, this is cool, Louise Hay, because she also was studying science of mind with Raymond Charles Barker. And so when it came time for him to move to Atlanta, he was full of this teaching. He knew where he wanted to be on Sunday mornings, but he looked all over and wasn't satisfied with anything he saw in Atlanta that would really teach the teachings of Ernest Holmes. And so in talking to Raymond Charles Barker, Dr. Barker said, You know it. You start it. I will be with you every step of the way, and I will tell you exactly what to do. So he was relieved. He thought, I got this. I have the information. Dr. Barker is supporting me. And he said the night before he led his first service, which, by the way, was at a bar in the Admiral Bimbo Hotel, he called Dr. Barker and he said, okay, I think I'm ready. I've got a good talk. Tell me what to do. And Barker simply says, you know it, you got it, you do it. That was it. That was it. And so he began by teaching the science of mind in the Bible Belt in the mid-'80s. Every Sunday, he would start the service with this quote: "Such is the nature of life, that all it asks and all it requires is the opportunity to express itself. And you are that opportunity, and so am I." Now, I could just say, so ends the lesson, because that's full, okay? But every week, week after week after week, such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it requires is the opportunity to express itself. And you are that opportunity, and so am I. Now, when I first started attending this church, I tried to hide out. I sat on the back row because my former church experience, I was just exhausted from. I mean, I have served on so many church boards. It is ridiculous. It's like an addiction. And so I thought, well, I'll just sneak in and sit in the back of this beautiful place, which was the Richard Rich Auditorium at that time. And then as soon as it's over, or maybe even after they pass the offering plate, I'll cut out. Don't have to get to know anybody, just take and leave. Well, that didn't last very long. But the most interesting points that I learned from Dr. Schultz. The first thing was, any problem or issue that a person has can be solved years later. But he went on to say that God is energy, not entity. God does not have gender. God does not have these human qualities that humans have given to God. God is energy, and it works through everyone the same way. Now, as a little Baptist girl, I learned a lot about God. I learned to pray. I learned that I could ask, and it would be given me. I could seek, and I could find, and I could knock, and the door would be open. And for those of you who did not find an open door this morning trying to get in, if you left, welcome back. I hope you're watching it online. But I would learn these things about God. I would learn to pray. I would learn that God always answers prayers. Okay, so that's good. And another little interesting thing that I learned as a child was that we're not supposed to pray and be all fluffed up in our prayers. That it's better to go into a closet. That's what the scriptures would say. Go into a closet and pray in private. Because this was between you and God. So, I was a believer. As a little kid, I would go into my closet with my clothes, my boxes, and my shoes. And I would pray that God would give me a pony. I so wanted this pony. And one day, my parents came into my room. They were holding hands and kind of blushing, and they said, "What would you want more than anything in the world?" And I said, "A pony." And they said, "Well, how about a baby brother?" Not so much. But that's okay. I got a baby brother, and he is just a fabulous person in my life now. But no pony. I didn't give up on God. I still was open to the idea that God answers prayers, but I turned to Walt Disney. And on Saturday afternoons, he would stand on the front screen of the TV with the big castle behind him, and then Jiminy Cricket would come in. And if you're too young to know Jiminy Cricket, go back and find him. He would come in and sing, "When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are." And then he said something about every dream that you have will come true. So I thought, okay, no pony from God. Maybe we'll try the Disney World, the magical way. Still didn't get a pony, and that's okay. The idea about God that Kennedy was talking about is that God is energy, and what he taught us to call God was by the pronoun it. Now, I'll tell you that being raised Southern Baptist and having let go of so much of that, still the idea of referring to God as it did a little thing in my brain. But he was insistent. And if you call God he, you might not last in practitioner class. And if you referred to God as the man upstairs or something outside of yourself, you may not get your license. He was pretty orthodox in his teachings. So God is not a person. God does not get a he or she pronoun. When I studied with Unity, I was introduced to the idea of Mother, Father, God, and I thought, oh, that's so nice. That's so much better than God being a he. I like that. But then, if you examine that further, God does not carry these human aspects. God is principle, and God is not person. And you know how important it is to realize the impact of looking at God as a father or looking at God as a mother. Because when we're children, our parents are our authority figures. And maybe daddy was this angry, fierce person, and maybe mama was just sort of a wimp and didn't follow the rules or didn't know what to do with you as a child. I'll give you an example with Cadence, my granddaughter. When we talk about doing something, if it's something that she's not supposed to do, she'll say, Mama said no. Mama said no. So we used to have tea and put a little sugar in our tea. Well, I got busted. Now we have to use honey or another substance, because the last time we had tea, I'm getting it out and getting out the sugar, and she says, oh no, Mama said no. That was the word. That was the rule. That is the way she perceives her mama, and when her mama says no, the answer is no. So what kind of ideas could we as adults be carrying around in our minds about our mothers and our fathers? And if we address God as Mother, Father, God, let me tell you, those ideas will vibrate in our subconscious mind. So God is energy, not entity. Ernest Holmes would begin his Sunday service with this quote: there is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. Whoa! You can use it. I love that idea. And then I began to learn how to work with this power, how to use this power. And it was a whole lot better working with this power in this way as energy and not entity, because I didn't have to go hole up in a smelly closet and pray to some God out there to bring me a pony. Or I didn't have to pretend that I lived in this magical world where all my dreams would come true. I felt like I had hit the mother lode when I learned this. There is a power for good in the universe greater than I am, and I can use it. Dr. Schultz would use quotes from Ernest Holmes every Sunday, and when we were in training to be students of the ministry, he would say, you better have an Ernest Holmes quote in every one of your talks. I mean, this man was strict. It was sort of like when you would talk and practice and give your talks, learning to give a good talk as a minister. I expected to get gonged off the stage if I didn't have a Holmes quote and if I called God a he. And so these ideas have stuck with me, have stuck very, very well. Now, how many of you have desires? Show of hands. Boy, if you don't, you're probably dead, okay? How many of you have desires that haven't been met yet? Okay. It's a good thing you're here because you will learn at Cityside what to do about all that and how to do it. Ernest Holmes says that, no, that's not Holmes, sorry. Kennedy says that our desires come from God, and when we honor our desires, the infinite will give us the courage to move forward. It's about moving forward, and some of us need courage to do this. Every year in February, he would do talks on the subject of the 4 corners: health, wealth, love, and creative self-expression, or career. And every year, although the topics were the same, they were new and fresh. On the topic of work, he says that we are not our work. So many people, when you ask them who they are, they say, oh, I'm a doctor, or I'm an Einstein physicist, or I'm a waiter, or I'm a tax collector. No, they're not, because they aren't their job, and we are not our job. There was a spread in one of the large newspapers in New York City years ago, and if you opened the paper out, you could see faces of people stretched all across both pages. The newspaper was running a contest, and they said, who are these people? Well, it was people of every nationality, every skin color, every gender, and every age, spread across 2 pages. And their expressions were grim. Some were angry. Some were frustrated. So the contest was for people to say who these people are and what they're doing. The most given answer was that these people were refugees who were about to be deported, and they were waiting to have to complete their paperwork. The second most given answer was that these people were patients, and they were getting to go on an outing in New York City that day. Do you know who these people were and what they were doing? They were waiting for the light to change so they could go across the street and go to work. Oh, that was so telling, so telling. Just think, if you are spending 8 hours a day at something that brings up the anger in you, disappoints you, makes you angry, oh my God, how bad is that? Now, I'm not saying that you should quit your job. I'm saying that you should get a better way of thinking, maybe first about yourself, so that you can demonstrate a job that is more likable to you. I once heard a minister speak, and his topic was supported by the song, "I Believe I Can Fly." And man, by the time that day was over, I just knew I could fly. And Monday morning, I went into work, and thank goodness I had a little foresight to know that if I told my boss I was intending on quitting, that she would pull out her big checkbook, figure out my vacation time, write me a check, and send me on my way. Well, I wasn't quite prepared to leave yet, so I sat on it. I was able to keep my mouth shut, which is amazing, but I was, and I just let this idea grow while I prepared to move into something bigger and better, to move into more speaking, to develop a healing practice, to do those things that I felt like I could be used as a vessel to express life, to express God, to express love. And so sure enough, a couple of weeks later, I go and see my boss, and I say, I'm really, really ready to branch out and have my own business. And she pulls out her big checkbook, sits there and figures up my vacation time, writes me a check, and it's one of those big blue checks, that you have in these business-type checkbooks. Hands it to me, and she said, "Goodbye, and tomorrow I will let you know when we'll have your goodbye lunch." I was out of there. But let me tell you, I was flying high, and it was so great because I believed I could fly, and I did fly until I didn't. And you know why I didn't fly the whole time? Because I did not have the consciousness to support it. There were things in my subconscious mind that blocked me, that kept me from manifesting the dream career that I wanted. Kennedy often talked about the idea of one white crow. And you might think of, well, okay, a lot of people want to manifest their dream jobs, and they just don't. Or this person really thinks they can manifest this job, and there's no way. I heard someone, I think it was Greg, talking about golf before the service started. I knew a guy who said, "I want to make my living playing golf all day long." And we're going, okay, but you don't have what it takes to be a professional golfer. But that was his desire, and he kept affirming it, and thank goodness had the good sense to go on off to college and study something. But while he was there, guess what? His father created a business, and that business was to survey and check out golf courses all over the Southeast. So guess who got the job to go play golf all day? This man. It was his desire. It was his dream. And he did it. He so fully desired it that the universe came and fully supported him. Now, what ways in your work or career can you allow the universe or allow life itself to express through you? Kennedy also talked about love. This beautiful song that we heard talked about love. What is love? Is it in the face of a child? Is it in a stranger's smile? Is it in the Holy Land? What is love? I can't tell you what love is. Kennedy could not teach us what love is because love is an experience. It is not a thing that we can grasp with our minds. Now, I will tell you that Kennedy would literally get stirred up in his little urn if he knew I was saying this, okay? But I want to recommend a very loving experience to you. And that experience is to listen to a guru that I have been introduced lately, and his name is Muji, and he's all over YouTube. But this man has such a high love vibration that just by listening to him, the vibration of love within you is lifted up. Emerson says if we want to have friends, we need to be a friend. I say if we want to have love or have a lover, we need to be love, because like attracts like. And if you're wanting a partner in your life and don't have one, increase your frequency, increase the love that is within you so that you can attract one who matches that vibration. I want to speak for a minute on health. We are so bombarded, especially in this country, about ideas about health, ideas about life and death. And Kennedy used to say, why do you have to die of something? Why does it have to be cancer or heart attack or stroke or complications from diabetes? Why can't you just die of a Tuesday? So when somebody calls you and says, oh, our dear friend Louise died, and you say, well, what'd she die of? She died of a Tuesday. How great would that be? Yes, we don't have to conjure up some type of thing to wear our bodies down or make us sick. We can just die of a Tuesday. Reverend Michael Beckwith at the Revelations Conference, might have been the one I met Amy at, and by the way, I corrected myself, it was 2006, not 2004. He was giving a speech at the minister's breakfast, and he said that in his prayer class, one of the women raised her hand and she said, will you please pray for me that I will be moved to the top of the list for kidney transplants? My kidney is failing and I won't be alive very long unless I get a new kidney. And he said, no. Well, you could have heard a pin drop in that room. He said, I won't pray for that, but I will pray for this. I will pray that the wholeness and health and perfection of God works through every organ, every blood cell, every muscle in your entire body, and that your kidneys become whole, perfect, and complete. And then he went on to say to the class members, when you go to the bathroom, now this is where the rubber meets the road. When you go to the bathroom and you sit on that pot to go pee, I want you to think of this woman, and I want you to think of her having perfectly healthy kidneys. Now, I don't know if you've studied kidney disease or not, but it's one of those that most physicians say, you know, not reversible, can't change. If you got it, you know, here's the route you're going to go. Doesn't necessarily have to be true. Think of the one white crow. All crows are not black if there is a white crow. And there are white crows in the United States because I saw that on the internet. I just had to look it up, and it must be true. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with kidney disease. And so finally, when it got to be stage 4, I was sent to a kidney doctor. And oh, she was just so sweet and la-di-da. And next time we will talk about dialysis. And I said, oh, no, we won't. Because I will not go there. Okay, I continued to see her. My function kept not being really good. And then one day I got it. This can be healed. Of course it can be healed. Anything can be healed. And so I started researching, looking at different energy modalities because obviously the medical profession was not going to heal my kidneys. Another quip from Kennedy is that humans are not cured. Hams are cured. And I love me some ham. Those of you who know me, ham and sweet tea, those are two of my things that I like very much. Okay, so hams are cured, humans are healed. And I begin affirming, okay, show me, show me, show me. I desire to be healed. I desire to have perfect kidney health. I have a granddaughter who is the essence of life, and I want to be around. Well, sure enough, about 6 months ago, I linked up with some energy healing, and I am here to report that my kidney function has doubled. Yes, yay! And I want to tell you, when my nephrologist was looking over my blood work, and it is substantiated by blood work, so this is not some airy-fairy made-up healing, okay? She was looking, she says, oh, this is very, very good. Now, did she even ask if I had done anything differently? No, because it's not in her frame of reference to know that a kidney can be healed, but it is in mine. Got a couple of seconds more here because Amy has a flight to catch, and I will say that this morning when I rehearsed, this talk was about an hour, and I thought, gotta be cut. Okay, so we've talked about health, wealth, love. Well, I think we've talked about wealth. No, let's talk a little bit more about wealth, okay? Pardon? More, okay. All right, wealth. If we are not wealthy, then we are not a vibrational match for wealth. Oh, no. If we are poor, then we are a vibrational match for poverty. But the cool thing is, all of that can change. One of the first things that I think should be done when people are moaning and groaning about not having enough money or not being able to live the life of opulence that they want to live is that they need to look at their beliefs about what you think about those who do have money. Now, mind you, I had been in this teaching for a number of years. I had raised Rainbow, my daughter, in this teaching since she was 5 years old. And one day, we were on one of our annual trips to the beach in Florida. We were riding through a neighborhood, and these houses must have just cost $1 billion. And so we're just riding along and looking and kind of lusting after the fancy lifestyle. And I mumbled under my breath, drug dealers. Oh, man. My husband and my daughter jumped on my case so quickly. And it's like, if you think you have to deal and do illegal activities to live in opulence, then you need to change your thinking. So if you don't have the wealth that you want, take a look at what you're thinking. Because as you change your thinking, you change your life. And what greater way can you allow life to express through you so that you can live a life of opulence? That's just kind of nice. I know Edwina Gaines, she lived a life of opulence. I know a lot of people who live a life of opulence. And I know a lot of people who live from month to month and paycheck to paycheck. But what I do know about truth is it is the nature of life, so that all it requires and all it asks is the opportunity to express itself. And you are that opportunity, and I am that opportunity. And that's the truth about you and the truth about me. And say with me now, and so it is. Yay. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take that into prayer. So I just want to invite everyone to close their eyes. And just call to your own awareness right now. Whatever part of your life that Louise's words touched, whether it's health or love or money or work, whatever you want to call forth more of, just call that into your awareness now. And just know that God is present in everything, that it, as Louise says, it is the source of all, that it is the infinite source and supply, it is the infinite love, the infinite well-being, the infinite creative expression. And I know that I'm one with this creative expression. I'm one with this love, this grace, this light, this abundance, this source, the supply. And as I know this for myself, I know this for each and every person here. We are all one with this presence and power of possibility, creativity, abundance, flow, perfect self-expression, perfect grace. So from this place of oneness, I just speak my word knowing that each and every person here has been uplifted and inspired to a greater level of being in their life, that the possibility of their lives are magnified. And so I know for each and every person that whatever that area is, whether it is money, whether it is time, whether it is self-expression, relationship, home, whatever you are calling forth more of, I just know that Spirit says yes to that. And that is what I'm knowing and claiming on behalf of each and every person here. I know that God is at the center of your life and that all is well, all is as it should be. And I know that as we turn to God, God turns to us and says yes. So just say yes with me. Say yes. I'm so grateful for this, so grateful for this goodness, this possibility, this creativity, this life of Spirit. So grateful to know that as we turn to Spirit, Spirit turns to us and says yes. So grateful to know that these prayers in our hearts, in our minds, in our beingness are fulfilled now. And so grateful to know that as we raise our vibration, that all good comes to us. I'm so grateful for this, and with so much gratitude, I simply say, and so it is. Amen. Whoever assembled that must have done it wrong. So now is our time of conscious giving, and Cityside is a community-supported organization. I was thinking this morning, most of our money goes to Sundays. Most of our money goes to the space, to supporting our musicians, and so when you give to Cityside, you're really giving to support the experience that we're having on Sunday morning. So your gifts are important. We'd really like to do more. I know Tiffany has the dream to have some more musicians. And so just really appreciate your support of the community. So as you get ready to make your gifts, I just invite you to hold them to your heart, whether it's your phone, if you're texting to give, or whether it's your actual gift, and just hold it to your heart and join me in our affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Amy. Now will your heart and soul say yes? And will your spirit still say yes? There is more that I require of thee. Will your heart and soul say yes?
So we give great thanks for these gifts, just knowing that Cityside is abundant, that we are all abundant, that the perfect law of giving and receiving is happening for each of us individually in each and every moment. And knowing that Cityside has all that it needs to fulfill its purpose, its mission, to provide this light into the world. And just so grateful for this, so grateful for the gifts, so grateful for this community. And with so much gratitude, we all say together, and so it is.
And so it is. Say yes.
Okay, so just a few quick announcements. If you're here for the first time, we'd really like to stay in touch with you. We have a welcome table outside. You can fill out a card and you'll be put on our mailing list. We also invite you to join our Facebook group, which is separate than the page, but that allows us to stay in touch during the week. People will share things out there. It's just a way to stay connected. And the way you find that is you go to our Facebook page and it gives you a place to click on the group. I'd also like to thank the people who brought this morning together. First, Reverend Louise, thank you so much. You have a beautiful clarity, so thank you. Our awesome musicians, Greg and Tiffany and Paul, thank you so much for being here. Dom on sound. We have Ted and Keith on the live stream. We have a bunch of people who set up, and we actually could use more help. So if you are interested, especially in moving boxes, we would love to have you join us. But I want to thank Lucy and Connie and John and Angie and Krista for the prayer and meditation, and Bobby and Peter. That's what happens when you lose your notes because you dropped them.
And Dom.
and Dom. I forgot about Dom. Dom, I'm sorry. But we just want to thank everyone because this happens with a group of people. It truly does, and this is an awesome group of people. So with that, we are complete. So you want to sing us out?
Let's sing it out.
Okay.
Come on. Everyone stand up, shake your limbs a little bit, move your body, sing along. Get that music energy moving through your soul. Oh, your eyes make the stars look like they're not shining. Your hair falls perfectly without you trying. What? You're so beautiful. What? And I tell you every day. That's right, Quincy. Yeah, I know. When I compliment you, you won't believe me. And it's so sad to think that you don't see what I see. But every time you ask me, do I look okay? You know I say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. 'Cause you're amazing, what? Just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. 'Cause you're amazing, just the way you are. Oh, your lips, I could kiss them all day if you let me. Your laugh, you know I think it is so sexy. And you're so beautiful, and I tell you every day. Oh, you know I never ask you to change. If perfect's what you're searching for, then just stay the same. So don't even bother asking if I look okay. You know I say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. 'Cause you're amazing, Have a beautiful Sunday. Have a fantastic week.